I was trying to get some stuff done. Hey, this is going to be a short live and totally unexpected. I'm still doing the one tomorrow at 2 o'clock. I just wanted to come in and say several of you donated to me, and I just want to say thank you because it was enough to cover that blog payment with $4 left over. And I was all excited because at my grocery store at Hy-Vee, they have pepperoni on sale for 50 cents a package. So I was able to buy a couple, 4 packages of pepperoni. Like my Buddha belly really needs pepperoni. But I wanted to thank you so much because that blog payment now is taken care of. Things are getting really bizarre. Hey, Smokey, things are getting bizarre. If you go check out my blog, the ex-chief of police of Harlan cased my house today. I caught him on camera. And I would not have even seen, hey, Elizabeth, hey, Sherilyn, I would not have even seen him, but it was a God thing because I was standing right at the window when he did it. And so I saw him. And he doesn't live anywhere near me. And so why is he on the side of my house? And they were obviously casing my house because they were pointing at shit at my house. If you want to know what I'm talking about, just go to my blog, davidshurter.com. Speaking of my blog, there have been several people who have asked how you would know if something happens to me. And Smokey actually gave me the idea. Now that blog, I kind of relaxed from doing everything on that blog. But now, and now they're texting me. They're texting me because they're all upset. Who cares? You fuckheads are not going to protect your child trafficking operation for very much longer. People don't like pedophiles, so therefore they don't like you. Because they don't like fucking pedophiles. Harassment in real time, that's what it is. I'm not going to do this for very long today because it's also 1,000,000 degrees. Tomorrow, if it's this hot, I'm going to do it in the house. But, and I'm sorry about the dog sound, if you can hear it. Well, fucking people hate pedophiles too. And so, Nightman, Mr. Anonymous Nightman, nobody likes you either. And, they're freaks. They're freaks. And, nobody likes fucking pedophiles. They don't like your fucking asses. And I'm gonna fucking bust your asses. Hey, Susan. And they're just texting me over and over and over. Just bizarre. But the blog is taken care of now. And can you guys hear that? Because I forgot to turn down my notifications. If that's bothering you guys, I'll just put this on pause for a minute and go, let me just go shut my notifications down. Easy enough to deal with. They're mad. They're mad. But I want to thank you guys because the blog got taken care of. And let me tell you, I've been stressing out about that because they want to take me out in the worst way. And they're just, if you go to my blog, that I'm assuming it's Daniel Dowd. Fuck, they have to spend every day, all day, making videos about me. Because this morning, shit, there's 8, I think. There's a whole collection of them, Hey, Katie. Well, damn, since you guys are all on here, I might stay on here for a little bit. I just wanted to come in and say thank you. And just thank you. Thank you. That blog had me really worried because, like I said, Lori King, they got Lori King to take down everything, and a month later they murdered her. That's how it worked. And then someone else sent me, oh, John Jake, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that your dog passed. Animals are like our children. That's why they threaten mine all the time. You know? But I will say that better not be a fucking threat, dude. You know hurting my dogs is a federal offense, right? It'll just make everything more increased. And nobody in town, everyone in town, thanks to those flyers, everyone in town is well aware of the hell what's going on. You know? Well, I take it that they're in here. Well, obviously they're in here because they keep texting me. Now that I've turned it down, I figure that's Geo. Get out of there. Sorry. And it's also 1,000,000 degrees. My dogs. I'm not a big chocolate person, and my dogs, you know. Dude, I have a feeling that you're in here fucking threatening my dogs, and it's starting to fucking piss me off. That's what I'm saying. I think you're in here fucking threatening my dogs in that weird ass way, and it's starting to piss me the fuck off. And you're doing it in front of everybody. You know? You're doing it in front of fucking everybody, you dickhead. You know? People in town are more than aware of what's going on now. Thanks to those fucking flyers, everyone's talking about it now. You know? Everyone's talking about it. And though I won't say publicly on here or on my blog who it is, people ask me in town and I tell them exactly who the fuck it is. I know why the retired Harlan Police Department dude, the Clark dude, was right beside my house today. Now, again, if you want to know what I'm talking about, go to my blog. You know? They're mad about that blog. That's what they're pissed off about, because they were really hoping that they could kill me before I got that blog taken care of so that everything would go down. That's what they were planning. That's how it was that's how they were working, you know? And why are they on top of me? Because they want to hide their fucking pedophile operation. They act guilty as fuck. No politics today. No politics. No politics. We're celebrating. We're celebrating. I am blessed with you guys. I have what Isaac Cappy didn't have. Oh, and by the way, I posted Isaac Cappy on the bridge. That dude is not alive. He doesn't even fucking look alive on that bridge. If you look at the fucking picture, you can see that dude is not alive. And how he's sitting and stuff, you compare that to his videos that he had. When did he ever fucking sit like that? You know? Who sits like that? And so they murdered Isaac. He looks like he's dead. Look at his hands and the color of his hands. You know? He looks like a corpse. That's what he does. The Dead David Shurter Club, dude. Dude, you are so obsessed with me. You're just a fuckhead. You're just a fuckhead. You spend all goddamn day posting videos about me. You obsess about me. And why? Because you're guilty as fuck. You're guilty as fuck. That's why you guys do the shit that you do. You know? That's why you do the shit that you do. You fucking murdered Isaac, and then 11 months later, blew up that gas station in Earlene, Iowa to try and get rid of me. You know? But someone who comes in the Dead David Shurter Club and wants everyone to actually believe him. Don't believe me. Believe the dead David Shurter club, dude. You know? They act guilty as fuck. Because they're guilty as fuck. They're fucking pedophiles. They are running a pedophile ring. And they need to be exposed. Susan, ditto. Ditto. It's an honor to know that I'm blessed with you guys. You know, I am blessed with you guys. Because I feel that the stuff is out there now. And people are more than aware. And not only are you aware, but you're like motivated. You know? And the fact that you guys helped me with the blog. Smokey was just like, well, because he was just like, did you have any left over? I have $4. I have $4. It, you know, 6 days, but I can get through $4 for 6 days. I'll just go buy a few things of spaghetti. I'll just eat spaghetti noodles for the next 6 days. You know, I've been poor for a long time. I know how to eat poor. You know, you boil a handful of spaghetti, toss a little butter in with that, a little bit of garlic powder, and you're good to go. And all I need something is to take off the stomach, you know, to take off the hunger. And that's fine. I'm just, you guys are a blessing. I have what Fiona Barnett didn't even have, you know, because Fiona told me, oh, you know, oh my God, I am not Johnny Gosh, Daniel Dowd, or whoever the fuck you are, you know, fucking dumbass, you know, but I will say that I just checked and I have cucumbers. I didn't even think that thing was going to do anything. I just went out to water this morning and realized, oh my God, I have cucumbers. So I also have cucumbers, you know? That's it, Susan. Not much is in this world is worth putting on the line. But ending this evil is. It is, you know? And again, with that blog, I'm back at posting on that blog on a normal basis. So if you end up looking at that blog and I haven't posted for a few days, something's up. Something's up, you know? And if you're worried, get a hold of Sherilyn, because Sherilyn and I talk. There's several of us in here that all talk all the time. I am not isolated. I'm so glad after Owen died, I isolated myself because I just figured I didn't want anybody to be hurt because of me. And, but then I had several of you. Sherilyn told me, I'm a big girl. I know what I'm getting into. Fuck them. If you want to be my friend, be my friend. And so, okay, you know. And they only speak out because they're guilty. That's the reason why they're on top of me all the time, harassing me. Is all the time. And that ex-Harlan Chief of Police Clark that was just scoping out my house today on his little golf cart, pointing at my house, it's his relatives that are connected directly to him that are passing out all those flyers all over town. And why? Because they're trying to protect their fucking coke or their meth operation in town. That's what they have on Neil Gross, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff, is that they're running a meth operation. Oh yeah, you can go davidshurter.com. It's the I just posted it this morning. Drove up in his golf course and he was only there for, it's only like a 9-second video. So he just came long enough to check out the side of my house. Sorry. I turned on that fan and it blows my hair into my mouth. I hate that. davidshurter.com. And he was only there for, and it was a God thing because I was standing right at my kitchen sink. So not only did I see him do it, but I knew exactly who the fuck I was looking at. You know? Hey, Penny. And they were pointing at my house. They were obviously here because of my house. They were pointing at my internet connection because that's what they want to do. They want to take me out. They do. They want to take me out. And I'm just telling you guys, if they end up taking me out, do not lose hope. Don't lose hope. You know? It was never about me. And I knew what I was getting into this when I came, you know. I'm I didn't get involved with all of this unknowing. I knew exactly what I was getting involved with when I came up. Great news, the blog stays up, you know. They were really hoping they could take me out before I got that blog. But several of you just came up, made donations. I know that at least one of you told me, please use this for food. And you know, I emailed you and told you, I can't, you know, I have to use it for that blog. You know, I had to use it for the blog. Because again, Lori King, they got her to take all of her stuff down. And they murdered her the same Sunday that Ivory Garden, who Lori King helped set up. It was a survivor community that they were doing the second annual trauma conference, but she wasn't there because she got into a fight. Well, personally, my personal experience is that I don't trust Pat Goodwin, Felicity, as far as I could throw her, and I couldn't throw her at all. And so I think that she's been working with the bad guys. I think she was working. I think when she brought me to her house, because I lived with her before I bought my house out there, she knew all about Doug living in Tacoma. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, knew he was only 23 miles away, never bothered to tell me, you know? And so, but Lori King and Felicity set up Ivory Garden. And it was the second annual Ivory Garden conference. And the Sunday that they were wrapping up the second conference, that's when they murdered Lori King. So it scared all the survivors. No one went back to it. I don't think they ever held another conference. They like to harass and terrorize and scare people. All the shit that they're doing in here, that's what they do to everyone. It's just me. It just pisses me off. It doesn't make me afraid, you know? And if they come and take me out, that was God's plan all along. I don't know what they don't understand. God told me when I got involved with this that I had to get them to stand up and actually, fear me, you are an idiot. I bet you're a serial killer. Bet you are. I bet you're connected to them. Because you're all in here today. You know? You're all in here today. Obviously, since you've been texting me already, you know? Smokey, that's the thing. People get jobs and they're still broke. I just appreciate people who have helped, you know? And I'm glad that some people are not upset because the one person actually sent money for food, and I couldn't use it for food. I had to do that blog first. Well, great. I buy some food, and then they murder me, and then what good is that food? You know what I'm saying? And so I had to spend. Oh, they're on my phone. My phone needs to cool down, so they're on top of it. So hold on, let me shut my phone off. I'll be back on here. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't worry about when they do that shit to my phone because I know that the people who are actually invested in this will stay. You guys always stay, you know? Of course, I can't read any, I don't know. It is a big deal to blog. And what they were texting me was a period. Over and over and over and over and over and over. You know? Do they seem innocent? Does any of their shit seem innocent? You know? Is this how innocent people actually work? No. They came in and murdered Owen. They bragged about it. Now they want me to be a dickhead. They say, oh, I'm a dickhead for pointing out the fact that they bragged about it. And someone was, you know, that Pootie Twang was posting live videos of Harlan. They were, you know. And so, oh, they always want to say that I'm the crazy one. But then they do all this weird ass shit that makes them look guilty, you know? And who's them? Let me go through it. Since this is going to be just a thing, who's them? Thomas Schoenberger, Tara Joyce, Daniel Dowd, Geo Farnsworth, Gabe Hoffman, Corey Daniel, who's also known as the Phoenix Enigma, all of the Sewertown people, Lucian Greaves, who's really Doug Masico, aka Doug Mesner. He's using his satanic temple after school daycare to target the kids. You know? DeFango, Ron Patton, and his whole group in Olympia, Washington. They're all, you know, that's this whole group. You can start there. That's a good start where they're at. And I'm not talking about, oh, I think. I've had to deal with all of these idiots personally. I know because I'm talking from personal experience. No, these people are not in Omaha, and they're not in Harlan either. They're scattered all over. And God only knows where they are, you know? Because they lie about where they are all the time. And they all work as a group. And what are they working as a group for? Oh, they're trafficking kids. They're doing all kinds of fucking criminal shit, you know? Someone sent me screenshots where they're bragging about the fact that they're selling fentanyl-laced cocaine, you know? Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. You know, I'm going to pray real quick because this is a celebration. Today is a celebration. You know, the stress level, I don't give a shit about food. The one thing that I do care about is that my dogs, when I starve, they don't get treats. I don't have any dog treats. And they're not happy about it. But, oh well, you know, at least they're eating. I always make sure they eat before I do. All of them eat before they do. And so, let's pray. Heaven, I come to you and I thank you so much. I am so grateful for the people that you have sent to me in my life that I know care. I mean, it's funny. It was just, a few days ago when I was yelling that nobody cared and I was so disheartened. And I know that that's not true anymore. I know that people care. And they care about kids. And they care about you. They care about the word. And it's gratifying. What are we supposed to do in this time? I've been reading scripture. I've been reading the Bible lately. What are we supposed to do? We're supposed to promote the word. That's what we're supposed to do in the end. That's what God is calling all of us to do, is emulate and glorify the word as best as we can. And that's what I'm trying to do. And it's hard because I get angry dealing with the harassment and the attacks of these child killers. You know, it's really difficult for me to have a group that is so fucking stupid, excuse my language, but they're so damn dumb, and yet they're making my life such a hell, you know? And they're so obvious about their crimes. They're so obvious about their crimes. It's a relative who's passing out those flyers in town that's connected to the retired Harlan chief of police dude who just cased my house this morning. And I know that it was your influence. It was only 9 seconds. It was a 9-second video. It was by the grace of you, by the grace of God, that I just happened to be standing at the window at the time that it happened. Because otherwise I would have never known. I would have never looked, you know? And I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful. And I say these things lovingly in your son's name, our brother, Jesus Christ. Amen. I don't know anything about Kirby Summers. Susan, I would be interested in that. You should send some information. I'd be interested. Do you know that I saw Jack Nicholson? They were filming a movie. That movie where they filmed in Omaha. And he looked like a homeless dude. He was just, the house that he went to, that they filmed. First of all, didn't look at it. It doesn't look like it did. They completely made it look like a dump. It was a cute little house. It was only 2 houses down from my apartment. So we watched them film. In fact, the director yelled at me and my friends that were on the other balcony because we were talking back and forth. And he yelled at us. We're trying to film here. Can you shut your mouth? Well, I'm in my apartment and this is America and I can do whatever I want. But I did try to be nice. We stopped, But it was something. Jack Nicholson he looked like a homeless dude. dshurtermod@gmail.com. You can send stuff to me, David, at davidshurter.com, and I see it, but it's easier for you to send it to that dshurtermod@gmail.com because Sherilyn is able to see it and she always makes sure that I see it. And if she doesn't see it, she can't remind me, I'm telling you, now that the blog is paid for, if I get more donations, I'm spending some of that money to take Sherilyn out to eat because she deserves it. She deserves it. Usually if I get donations, I try to help someone else out a little bit because usually there's not a whole lot coming in. It's not like I get rich off donations. None of you are rich. But if I get some and it covers what I need, I mean, obviously this time I can't do anything because after paying what I needed to pay for on that blog, I only had $4 left. But just realize that one of these times, very, very soon, I'm just going to keep saving up donations and I'm taking Sherilyn out to eat. I tried to do it one time, but she'd been up throwing up the night before, so eating was the last thing she wanted to do, so I didn't get it. And so I ended up going and buying some fabric for someone who can't afford it, not saying any names, but they want a bag with lighthouses. And so I've decided that, when people are gracious to me, I feel like it's important for me to be gracious to others as I can. That's just how it works with me, because it's not all about me. It's about all of us together. And I'm poor. If I was rich, I'd be helping a lot more. Thank you. I got this hat years and years and years and years ago at TJ Maxx out in Washington. It's my summer hat. It's open. You can kind of see it, I think. Yeah. So there's some airflow in there, but it holds my hair back. And so, yeah, they were really partial to lighthouses. And so I went on eBay. Since I couldn't help Sherilyn, I couldn't take her out to eat, I went on eBay and ended up spending the money that I would have spent on Sherilyn's food on fabric to make someone a bag. Because there are some of you that, Susan, that I eventually want to actually be very, we're pretty open. Lighthouses are kind of unique. Hey, Susan, have a great day. Enjoy San Francisco. I wish that I was there because it's 1,000,000 degrees here. The first time I ever went to San Francisco, it was in the middle of summer. And my ex and I ended up dressing. It was the middle of summer, so it was like 100 degrees here. So, of course, all we packed were T-shirts and shorts. And we went to San Francisco. And we ended up having to go buy clothes in San Francisco. Because, yeah, it might be 100 degrees in Iowa. but I think it was 50 degrees in San Francisco. It was so cold. We had to go buy these long sleeve shirts and jeans, and we had to get those flannel shirt things. Sorry, they keep fucking with my phone. And I know it's them. Because one of these times when my phone was heating up and heating up and heating up, Thomas Schoenberger sent me an email out of the blue while I was doing it saying, your phone is heating up. Your phone is... So it's what they do, you know? And why are they doing it? Because they want to hide their pedophile operation, their child trafficking operation. That's the reason why they harass the shit out of me. That's the reason why they never leave me alone. That's the reason why they make threats. That's the reason why they break into my house all the time. You know, all the time. And steal shit out of my house. I would have never known about that Dell laptop getting stolen had they not said anything. And I'm still fucking pissed off about that leather bag because it was a gift and I had no idea. I had no idea how expensive. I'm buffering. They're doing everything they can to shut me down. And they're mad about that blog because people help donate. And that blog is staying up another year, you know, another year. They're fucking with everything. And they're doing shit to heat up my phone. Do they seem innocent to you? Because what they are is a bunch of fucking pedophiles. They're a bunch of pedophiles that need to go to jail. That's what they are. Do they seem innocent to anybody? You know? If they do seem innocent to you, you need to pull your head out of your ass before you asphyxiate. You know? Because innocent, normal people don't do that. They don't act this way. Who spends all day, every day, making 8 to 10 fucking videos about people so that they can post it every day? You know? And they hate that I keep living my life. They hate that I keep living my life. And I have a life, you know? They've done so much good to me passing out those flyers in town because people who already knew me are now talking to everyone else in town when my name comes up. I've had several people in town ask me about my book. You know, I have to go get more books. My publisher ordered books. And so I need to go get those books. So I need to go to Omaha here soon because I'm out of books, you know. But I only get like 10 at a time. And, and I give them away sometimes. I'm not a MAGA person. I am not a MAGA person at all. It's a threat. Hey, Gov, I'll stay on here for a little bit long. I'll stay on here. This was an impromptu one. But I called Sherilyn and said, hey, Sherilyn, please help me out. She thought it was a wonderful idea to come on here and think. In fact, she's actually the one who suggested it. That's what Sherilyn is like, because I would have waited till tomorrow. But Sherilyn was just like, dude, you should do a live and thank everybody and tell everyone how much you appreciate them. You're absolutely right, you know? Leather bags are expensive, and I had no clue how expensive that bag was. Had no clue, because someone gave it to me years and years and years ago. And I had no clue how expensive that bag was. You know? Sherilyn, you're too funny. You are just the best. You know? And none of this, all of this is like a collaborative effort. It's not just me. It's not just Sherilyn. It's all of you. It's all of us, actually. You know? And I don't know. I think things are changing and shifting and changing. And a lot of us are actually coming together. And I went to go find a similar bag to the one that I had and the damn thing was like $800. It was almost identical to what I had, and it was $800. You know, it pissed me off. Couldn't give a shit less about the computer, you know. Hope, faith, and love. Gov. I got a feeling there was something on YouTube and this was it. Just to let everybody know, they're fucking with my phone. So if I go away, it's because they've overheated my phone, which only happens when I do these live YouTubes, and it's only when they're fucking with my phone. And I know it's them because Thomas Schoenberger let me know that it was them several ones back. The dude who tells me he doesn't watch my lives, but then sometimes when I get done with my live, he sent me email after email after email talking about the shit that I just talked about in the live. So, what? Does he have the powers of osmosis? You know, does he just filter it off of the air? You know? No. But he's the leader of this fucking pedophile ring. He's working hand in hand with Michael Aquino. Doug is just a little, you know, oh, he's a fan. Ew, ick. And the people in town, because now that those flyers went out and people are asking me who I think is doing it, I tell them. I'm not going to publish it on here because there's nothing anybody can do on here. But in town, oh, fuck. I drop every fucking name. You know? Sure the fuck do. I'm not playing. They want to hide in the dark. I like to drag them out into the light. That's how it works. You know? Their pedophile shit needs to stop. And the meth ring in town, everybody fucking knows about that meth ring. Every time I bring it up, everyone knows. It's just that no one knew what to do about it. I had someone just yesterday in town come up to me and tell me, dude, you're a hero. You're a hero. You're doing what none of us could figure out how to do, and now you're exposing all of it. And obviously, because the ex-chief of police of Harlan just cased out my house today, and his reputation is the biggest drug dealer in town. That's why he was in my house. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, just go to davidshurter.com, my blog. You can see the video. You can watch him drive. It's only 9 seconds. He comes in long enough to actually look at the shit on the side of my house and then turned around. You know? Thank you, Mary. You know, I don't feel like I'm a hero. I just feel like I'm a normal dude. And I think that if any of you had been put in the same position that I've been put in my life, you would do the same thing. I have an obligation to do this because of where I stand and what my family was involved with and all of that. Everything backfires on him. But isn't that what God says? Every tool, all the shit that they try and do to those who are obedient to the word, all of the negative, nasty shit they do, God uses it to actually help his followers. And that's what ends up happening. You know? That's what ends up happening. And now I have people in town watching these lives all the time. There's so many more people who are involved. I bet when Neil Gross comes up for re-election, I bet he ain't going to win the re-election this time. You know? Any weapon formed against me shall fail. Thank you, Sherilyn. Telepathetic. Thomas must be telepathetic. That's too funny, Gov. That's too funny. I'm going to steal that. I'm just telling you. Telepathetic. It's funny. But this is a celebration. But now that the blog is taken care of, I'm just warning you guys. If you guys donate, and I'm definitely... it just covered the blog. I had $4 left over, but I'm just warning everyone. If you send donations now, some of those donations I'm going to take Sherilyn out to eat. We're going to go eat Ethiopian because she's never eaten Ethiopian, and we've talked about it. I like to introduce Sherilyn stuff, you know? And at some point, I'm going to start making, you know, I'm making stuff to sell, but this last week or two, I haven't gotten shit done because the stress level has been so bad that all I did was stress out about that blog because I knew if that blog went down, they're going to come kill me. They are. They want these down. They want this channel down. But YouTube, if they take my channel down, but leave all of their stupid shit where they're talking about burning my fucking house down and killing me and all of that, they leave that shit up, I don't think very many people will be happy. The Sound of Freedom, I didn't care for it. I thought it was misleading. It makes it seem like there's no child trafficking in United States. There's just trafficking in Thailand and all of those places, and that's what's it. They post videos over and over and over. Fuck, they just posted 2 or 3 videos today of my house burning down. My house burning down. I'm gonna disappear. They're gonna kill my dogs. They're gonna kill me. That's what the shit. If you go to davidshurter.com, I took just a screenshot of the mentions because I don't watch their shit. But it's all threats. Well, one of the accounts now is the Dead David Shurter Club. It's all fake ass names. It's all fake ass names. You know? Go to YouTube, go into the search bar, type in my name. I'm sure it'll pull up. You know? They mention me. I don't see how it can't come up when they mention me. Because they want me to see it. I don't ever watch their stupid shit. You know? See, child abuse is just fucked up. That's the reason why, shit, if there was something on that laptop, they would have already exposed it. But there's nothing on that laptop because I don't do anything weird. You know? As you can tell from my ex, I like hair. Full chest hair, full beard. My ex had hair on his back. I dug that. Do you know how hard it is to find a 9-year-old that has a full beard and a full chest of hair? You know? Gross. You know? Kids should be kept innocent for as long as they can. I'd make a terrible dad because, fuck, my kids would hate me. I would have duct taped them to me, knowing what I know about the world. And there are a lot of people who don't know shit. Yesterday, I was at the grocery store talking to someone, and some woman came in with 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and they were both under the age of 5. And I was talking, but they were behind me, so I turned around to look, and then turned around, and the person that I was talking to started laughing, and I was just like, why, what's up? And he was just like, dude, you had a smile on your face, and then all of a sudden you looked like you were about ready to kill someone. The reason why, this woman walks into a grocery store. Her kids are they had to have been under 5, both of them. The boy's dressed in shorts and a t-shirt. The fucking girl is in a bikini. She has a 5-year-old girl in the grocery store dressed in a bikini. And it's just there are so many parents that I just want to go up and just smack them right in the fucking head. You know? That's funny, Mary. My brother is as hairy as a bear. I like bears. 30 to 50. Muscular. But I don't do anything. I've been celibate since my divorce. That's going on 14 years. And it's because of my faith. I never want to get into another relationship. And because I never want to get into a relationship, I can't justify a one-night stand. You know? So wrong. Put clothes on your kids. You know? I turned around and the person that I was talking to, I said, my dad would have been right on top of that. Right on top of that. You know? My dad and stepmom would have been right on top of that. You know? Don't post pictures of your kids online. Don't post them on Facebook for everyone. That's where the fucking pedophiles are. That's where they're at. On these gaming things and all of that. They're searching the web for your kids. So when you post shit all over the fucking internet with your kids, you know, I tell you what, Texas Tanks, why don't you go away? You know? If you're okay with pedophiles and you just don't find anything wrong with them, then go fuck yourself. I would tell you that, but it seems like you're already fucked. You know? With your little anonymous picture and all of that. You know? That website, that's what we're in here for. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Go to my blog. If you want to donate, PayPal and Venmo are just D Shurter. Nothing will be wasted, you know. The internet is no place for kids. I wouldn't let my kids on the internet. I wouldn't let my kids game. That's where they're at. That's what they're fucking. Daniel Dowd is meeting kids on fucking line. He has a mugshot for fucking a kid. And he's like justifying how he's meeting kids, underage kids online, to counsel them on how they shouldn't meet up with people like him. You know? Oh, my law enforcement is totally on it. Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross has done nothing but protect these fucking pedophiles. That's the best thing about these flyers going up all over town. Because for years, Neil Gross, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff Neil Gross, and his deputy Chad Butler, and Noah Schilling, who's all involved with the meth operation, from what I understand. He's the one who goes down to the trailer park to actually, he's the courier for the meth operation, from what I understand. They all protect the pedophiles. They're all into it. They all have a direct line with my sheriff who protects them. And Neil Gross, for a long time, was telling everybody, oh, there's no one after David. He's a paranoid schizophrenic. It's all in his head. That can't be argued anymore now that those flyers. Just like him telling, oh, there's no one in town helping these pedophiles. Well, who's passing out flyers? And they haven't stopped. They didn't just do it once. They keep doing it. You know? That's how it works. You know? But then when the gas station, the Erlin, Iowa gas station, that was a domestic terrorism. They put a bomb in that gas station to try and kill me. 11 months after they murdered Isaac, who you can go see him sitting on that bridge. He is not alive. Anybody who looks at that picture and thinks that Isaac is alive on that bridge is an idiot. He does not even look alive. You know? Teens definitely need to be watched. Not just kids, but teens definitely. You know? Roblox. That's the big one. Roblox. And that's where they're meeting a lot of these kids. The pedophile the Sewer Town. Thomas Schoenberger. Daniel Dowd. Geo Farnsworth. Tara Joyce. Gabe Hoffman. DeFango. Corey Daniel. His wife, the Sicilian bitch. The Sicilian witch. You know? Minecraft. I didn't know about Minecraft. All I knew about Minecraft is, isn't it a new movie out there? You know? Roblox and Minecraft. But that's what they're all using. Ron Patton. His little group all in Olympia. Washington. They're all people that I've known that are all involved in this fucking pedophile shit. Those are the ones who are attacking me. They're the ones making the weird-ass videos. There's the ones breaking into my house and then bragging about the shit that they steal. You know? And they brag about it because what are they going to do? Fuck, the ex-chief of police of Harlan just cased my house this morning. You know? But then he's known as the biggest drug dealer in town. And in town, what I figure is that the pedophile operation found out about Neil Gross's meth operation. Wherever the kids are, there pedophiles are. You know? And they want everyone to be docile, not to ask any questions. Just accept it. You know? Fuck that. I ain't accepting that. I'm not accepting fucking pedophiles. Go fuck yourself. Wood chipper. I like that. Wood chipper. You know? Wood chipper. The only fucking true. It is the only outcome that works with fucking pedophiles. You know? I don't agree with everything that J.D. DeLay says, but I sure do agree with that wood chipper thing. You know? He seems a bit too Republican for me, but he sure would be fun to hang out and just listen to for a while. I'd break bread with them, you know? But he's famous, and I'm just a little pissant trying to do what I can to expose this shit. And I'm fine with that. Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, Sandra. But I know how hard it is to deal with these motherfuckers and not get so full of rage that you want to strike out. But we're called not to strike out. But have me walk into a room when you're hurting a kid, and I don't think I would be following God's law of that. You know? I don't think I'd be following God's law. Oh, thanks. I love the birds when they hear me outside. Just they come and sing all the time. They could be nobody. There's nothing out here, but the squirrels are already there because the dogs are inside. So the squirrels are outside. I had a bunny in my yard. I have a cardinal that comes and they sing. When they hear me out here, they sing. It's funny because Sherilyn calls me Snow White because the animals just love me out here. Even Jesus Christ turned over the money changer and beat him with a fucking stick. You know? Beat him with a stick. There's a right way to do things and a wrong way. You know? I don't know. The other day I was so angry. I do still apologize for that. It was a couple. Oh, there's my little cardinal now. Sherilyn calls me Snow White. She thinks it's funny. Because I can come out here and there's nothing out here. There's no sound at all. But then the minute they hear me start talking, they'll all come and get on that fence and start singing, you know. Well, ASC, let me, to be quite honest, I won't be sticking anybody in a wood chipper at all, ever. You know? I know that God is getting ready to deal with them. And in the harshest of ways. So, when it comes down to the rage, sometimes you just have to sit with the rage. Sometimes you just have to feel it, and it sucks, I know. But it's at those times that we have to have that's when we need our faith the strongest. To realize that as dark as dark as some things seem sometimes, God will end up dealing with it in the end. God will end up dealing with them in the end. You know? And we're called to have faith, and vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Everyone always wants to quote that eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, But the very next part of that is vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And so I'm just, and you don't want to lower yourself to them, you know? Wasn't it Nietzsche who said, be careful of dealing with monsters because you can become a monster yourself? And that's the key thing that we need to remember, is that we don't want to lose our souls in the process of doing what we're doing. They're getting beaten by their own actions. They are. They are. Those flyers that they thought were just going to be a death blow to me have done nothing but help me. Have done nothing but help me. People now, actually, the abyss stares into us. If you stare into the abyss stares into us. But there's someone who says, be careful when you're fighting monsters not to become a monster yourself. And I don't know who says that. Gov, you might know who said that. And I'm probably not quoting it correctly. But no, I don't think it was Confucius. Both are Nietzsche. Both are Nietzsche. Who's a crazy dude. But I kind of like some stuff of Nietzsche, even though he was crazy. You know? I like Jung. But they're all kind of crazy, you know? Didn't much get into Freud. Thought Freud was just too into sex. Oh, great. When you get tired, learn to rest, not quit. Per leaders, that's a great thing to remember. That was just what I had to learn this week again, was when I wanted to quit. I just needed to take a step back and rest. And I took a step back and rested, and what ended up happening, you guys all came through and were able to help me keep that blog up for another year. You know? Only had $4 left over. But even then, what happened? God put me in a situation to where I had $4 left, but they were selling packages of pepperoni for 50 cents a pop. So I bought 4. $2, you know? Thank you, Tracy. I'm feeling better. But you know, things have changed. Things have really, really switched and changed. Because for years, I felt like I was in this alone. And this last year, I felt like, you know, or this last week, seems like a year, but this last week was really hard. But then I don't know how much of it was that, me involved with all of this, and how much was the Schumann resonance just went crazy. We've been getting hit with so much energy from the sun, all that plasma, and it's having a huge effect on everyone. And I think, you know, and it's funny because yesterday, it was either yesterday or the day before yesterday, I woke up and it obviously something shifted, because then I woke up and I felt better. I felt okay, you know? And I love BBC documentaries, Century of Self. And the geoengineering from weather reacts to the shift in patterns. Yeah, that's what I'd be willing to bet. You know? And so I don't know what was affecting my mood. But then yesterday, I think I said this yesterday in yesterday's live, I was laying in bed. It was the day before yesterday when I had a fit. Then yesterday I was laying in bed and I felt the grace of God come over me, and it lasted for 5 minutes. Just talking about it, every time I talk about it, my body starts to tingle, because all of a sudden I felt this grace come over me, and what I had this just feeling of is everything's going to be okay. Stop stressing. It's all going to be okay. And it changed everything. It changed my perspective. That's why I had to come on yesterday. And then this morning when I found out that you guys had helped me enough to cover that blog, oh man, I was celebrating. So I called Sherilyn to let Sherilyn know, and Sherilyn was just like, you know, you should do a live and thank everybody. And I was just like, you're absolutely right. I should do a live and thank everyone. And I don't thank any of you by name, but I do that on purpose, I don't want them to know, because they target people. They target people. But there's also a bunch of people in here. We're all pretty together now. And I have a feeling that you fuck with one of us, you're going to piss the rest off. And there's a lot of people in here who don't seem to be the ones who like to back down. I think that there's a lot of you, like I've said, you guys are super nice and super loving and super wonderful, but I bet there's a part of your personality that can be like biting down on tinfoil. When you've had enough, and you fight back. It did not help that I destroyed my favorite glass either. My nice Peanuts mug that I had gotten a year ago. Not even. It couldn't have been more than 6 months. Hey, Cognitive. Couldn't have been more than 6 months ago. And this last week, I wrecked it. I was on the phone with Sherilyn when I did it. That's the reason why I was surprised Sherilyn was in here yesterday, because she had to deal with me when I broke that glass. If I could have imploded, because I was so angry already, and I dropped that glass in my sink and it broke. Oh, it was terrible. Hey, Tracy. People are coming around. People are coming around. And I am trying. You're not blocked, ASC. But don't piss off Sherilyn, because she has a no tolerance policy. That's what I've asked her for, is a no tolerance policy. She doesn't play. We're not going to spend the whole time in here fighting people, So if she even thinks, I don't have any weed. If I had some weed, I'd be smoking it. Don't have any weed. Could have really used some this week, let me tell you. I could have definitely used some this week. But shit, I can't afford food. And I'm 58 years old. If it comes down to buying pot, or it comes down to buying food, I'm gonna buy food, Now, the blog was different, The blog was different. I had to keep that blog up. There was no way, So with the donations, like I said, I had $4 left over, but then even God was just like, okay, well, here's some 50-cent pepperoni packages for you. 5 ounces. Nice, And I have some crackers. I have saltine crackers. If I get hungry, I'll just eat crackers, and pepperoni is nothing different than summer sausage. I really don't like summer sausage. So pepperoni is fine. I'll eat crackers and, crackers and meat. I do not have EBT. I did not sign. There's a reason why I don't do EBT. There's a reason why I don't do a lot. It's because they attack me all the time, And I don't want to have an EBT card and then have someone donate to me and then they go turn me in. Even though they can't turn me in, because anytime I get stuff like that, I've always called and told them, what do I do? What do I do? Do I have to do something? Because Doug Mesner, a.k.a. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, has been on top of me since 2012. Before that, he was on top of me before I published my book. Even before I published my blog, and that was 2011, And so, you could not get me to move to California. I talked to Gov the other day and told him, I just wanted to talk to you before you fall into the ocean. And then I started laughing, and I said, I'm laughing, but part of me is not laughing at all. I would consider moving to Minnesota. Oh, Germany. Sandra, thank you. Germany is beautiful from what I understand, but they're dealing with Nazis too, all over. Thank you for showing up. Please subscribe. Please come back. And yes, I know that there are a bunch of you in here. If you guys needed financial help, I could not give it to you. So I understand not being able to give financial help. But I just want to tell you, this is what I talked about. This is what Sherilyn and I were talking about. Sherilyn and I were talking about, I don't think I've ever been to San Diego. I've been to LA and I hated it. I think I would like San Diego. But you guys have too many earthquakes. You know? Earthquakes scare me. You know? They track all of your purchases on EBT, especially Iowa. Iowa, they want to know everything you're spending. And I don't want to be tracked. You know? I just... You get earthquakes. When I moved to Washington, people asked me if I was afraid of tornadoes. And I told people no. Because in the Midwest, when there's a tornado down on the ground, nobody goes and hides. We all go outside so we can watch it. I shit you not. That's what ends up happening. I've heard of San Diego. The weather is perfect. Funny, in California, you know who has perfect weather as far as I was concerned? San Francisco. I would never want to live in San Francisco, but I love the weather. San Francisco was kind of scary to me. Tracy, I'm from Minnesota. Some people are afraid of tornadoes and they will go down and hide. Me, I could have been nominated for the Darwin Award 2 years ago because I had an F4 tornado a half a mile from my house. But I had spent the entire day trying to fix my security cameras on the outside. So when there was an F4 tornado a half a mile from my house, I was on a ladder outside fixing my security cameras. The woman across the street, when the tornado left, she came out of the basement with her kids. And her kids was like, Mom, David Shurter's out on a ladder. So she came out and was just like, dude, are you a dumbass? She said, I have my kids in the basement trying to teach them that when tornadoes come, you go, and you're outside on a ladder. But the clouds, they were all going that way. I didn't figure anything was happening. Nothing was coming towards me. All the clouds were racing away from me. Didn't realize that there was an F4 tornado. But that was all a God thing too, because that was the same day that government dude that was in those apartments came out and shook my hand and looked me in the eye. And that was a wonderful time for me because I was able to just, heaven worked through me and gave him the dark. That's what ended up happening. Heaven worked through me and gave him the dark. And the dark, the way heaven works is, I've done it to three different people. You know, I love the East Coast though too. I lived in Mount Vernon, New Hampshire. I was only out there for a little bit, but exactly, Sherilyn. When you see them during the day, you can rush into them. You usually have enough time to get to your basement before it comes to head you. You know, you always say at night, I would never go outside and try and find a tornado at night. Those are the scary ones when they hit at night because they're really dangerous because you can't see them. And so I would love to live in Maine. I mean, I hate Susan Collins. I think she's an idiot, but I've always liked Maine. I went up to Maine once. I loved it. Connecticut was very white. They do have sirens. There were sirens going off. Nobody pays attention to this. People around here, when they hear the sirens, go outside because they want to see the tornado, you know? So you get sirens, and we have, the siren goes off at 10 o'clock every Monday morning so that they test them every Monday morning at 10. But from what I've seen, the sirens go off and everyone's just like, oh, there's a tornado. Let's go outside and see if we can see it. That's how it works. Now, earthquakes scare the absolute shit out of me. You can go inside and the house falls down on you. You go outside, and I don't want to be outside when the ground is doing this. It just, at night we're screwed. At night we're screwed. If the alarm goes off at night, you better go to the basement because you won't know where they're hit. My dogs don't care. My dog's sound doesn't, thunder doesn't bother them. Fireworks don't bother them. They don't howl. It's funny because my dogs are quiet, but then we're quiet. It's just me and the dogs. So it's usually quiet, and usually I don't even have a television on. A lot of times I don't even have music on. If I'm sewing and stuff, people hate driving in a car with me because I don't always have the radio on. I'll drive in silence as with that too, I like silence. I like to be, the healthcare in Iowa sucks. They're taking it away from everybody. And especially in Harlan, if something serious is happening with you, it costs $6,000 because they fly you down on the helicopter back to Omaha. Omaha has amazing hospitals. Amazing hospitals. They have the Creighton University, University of Nebraska Medical Center. They just have a ton of medical centers down there that are just amazing. Do a lot of research there. And so the Omaha hospitals, they saved my mom more than once from the brink of death. Why do I think that the healthcare sucks out here? Because people are poor. No, Omaha is not white anymore. But it is the most racially segregated town I've ever been in. All the blacks live in North Omaha. All the Hispanics live in South Omaha. The gays and the poor white people live in downtown and in that area. And the rich white people, they can't go far enough west. Elkhorn used to be way out there. Now it's part of Omaha. It's only a matter of time before Omaha takes over Fremont, and that's an hour away, and I'm not kidding. I won't do anything with the Catholic Church. I don't trust the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church was heavily involved with everything that was going on in Omaha with Franklin. Boys Town and the Catholic churches, it was all involved. I should get off here. This one's getting to be a little bit longer. I'm at an hour and 13 minutes. But this is fun. This is great. And I'm still doing one tomorrow. I'm still doing one tomorrow. This one is, you can all thank Sherilyn for this one today. Because she told me, don't wait. You need to celebrate. Because she's had to deal with me stressed out about that blog. And so she was just like, dude, you need to go on there, thank everybody, and celebrate. And she was right. Absolutely right. And so time does fly, especially when you guys are all in here talking, and we don't have a lot of idiots in here. I got a red dot flashing next to people count. I don't know. I don't see that. It says there's only 16 people, and there could only be 16 people. But they do that weird bot thing to my shit. It ends up irritating me. So when I get done, I have like 1,500 people, there's always like this huge amount of people, and it wasn't. There wasn't that many people. I don't understand why they do that. I don't like it. And people told me, well, why are they doing it? Doesn't that help your algorithm? But I have to tell you, I don't really understand algorithms either. I grew up, we were Catholic for a long time. We were killing kids Saturday night in Hummel Park, and my dad and stepmother were the loudest Sunday morning in church at the Catholic Church. And there were a lot of Catholics that were in church that had also been in Hummel Park that Saturday night. basically what I got from the Catholic Church is sin all you want all week. And then Sunday, go tell a pedophile priest all of your sins. He gives you all these Hail Marys and Mother of God and all of that stuff. And you just wipe the slate clean. So then you can go sin all the next week. I just never got it. I never got it. Tracy Sherilyn is, that's why I'm saying, you guys, you donate. I'm telling you, now that that blog is paid for, I'm not even going to buy food. If I get more donations, Sherilyn and I are going to hook up here very soon. I mean, that's probably the wrong word. We're going to go have lunch because I want to take Sherilyn out. I want to go treat her. She's an amazing person. You guys don't know what she has to deal with me sometimes because I am a bitch. I can be a serious bitch. And she is very tolerant, you know? Just because of what I went through with the Catholic Church in Omaha. I have a low. But then when I was in Erlin, I was singing at the Catholic Church because I like to sing, and they didn't have any strong male voices. I was the only strong male voice. So I would go because the Catholic Church was the only church in Erlin. There were no other churches. And so I went and sang with them. Yep. As soon as I have the money, I'm taking her out for Ethiopian. She's never had Ethiopian before. And so she'll tell you all about it. And then afterwards, we're going to go have Ethiopian coffee. Best coffee you've ever had in your life. Best coffee you've ever had in your life. But I want to treat Sherilyn. She's been at this for a long time, and I haven't been able to treat her at all. And you guys just don't realize how great she is. I didn't realize, and she was the first person that I reached out to in all of this. Now I've reached out to several of you, and now I've just been blessed. I'm blessed. And I'm blessed every time I do these. That's why I'm staying on here for a little bit, you know? And, because I love you guys coming in here. I love the conversation. Oh, the coffee. The cool thing about Ethiopian, I will warn you about Ethiopian, you don't get silverware. They have this bread called Inja bread, and it's like a pancake bread. It's the breast bread. And you peel out, you pull the pieces of this bread off. It's like almost like a pancake kind of bread. And you pull it off, and then you take that bread and you pick the food up with the bread, and you eat it with the bread. So if you're gluten intolerant, you probably don't want to eat Ethiopian. But it's delicious food. But it's a lot of lentil. It's thicker than a tortilla. It's thicker than a tortilla. It's like a spongy bread, you know? I tell you what, when we go eat Ethiopian, if it's okay with Sherilyn, we'll do a short video. So we'll show the Ethiopian food, because I always order the platter. Cubed meat and sponge like brown bread for dipping. Yep. And then I always ordered the vegetarian, and the dude who owns the place was just like, well, do you want to try the meat platter? And I was like, what's on the meat platter? Because I was afraid he was going to say goat and lamb and all of that weird stuff. And he was just like, no, it's chicken and steak and pork. And I was just like, okay, chicken, steak, and pork. I can eat all that. But when we go eat Ethiopian, Sherilyn might not be on the video because I don't know if she's comfortable with being on a video, especially on my channel. I mean, she's on here anyway. But, you know, I don't like lamb. It's a little bit spicy, but it's not spicy like Mexican food. It's not hot spicy. There is spicy to it. There is some spice to it because it's lentils. Lentils and beans and spinach. There's a dish with spinach and all of that. No elk or deer. I don't like deer. It's too gamey, you know? And really when it comes down to it, for the most part, I eat a lot of chicken. I kind of stick to chicken a lot, you know? She one time didn't, I couldn't treat her, but we ended up going and having Vietnamese food. And I like duck if it's prepared correctly. The thing about duck is it can be greasy. Oh, excuse me. It can be greasy. That's the only thing. But I love turkey. I've never eaten goose. I've never eaten goose. There's a lot of stuff I haven't eaten. I'm kind of weird about that. I'm kind of scared sometimes to try new. I'll try new flavors. I'll do new flavors. See, the thing about it, Mary, is around here in Iowa, chicken is super expensive, but the pork is cheap. But I'm not a big fan all the time of eating pork. I'm probably the only one who only wants to eat bacon every once in a while. I think bacon gets to be too much. I love pho. I love noodles. That's Vietnamese. Pho is Vietnamese. I love pho. I eat a lot of pho in the wintertime because I love soups. I love soups. But the place that we go eat, that we ate it there, I always eat the same thing. Grilled lemongrass chicken. So it's just grilled chicken on a bed of jasmine rice with this sauce that you pour over it. It's like fish sauce and all of that. And it comes with sliced cucumbers and sliced tomatoes and cilantro. And it's delicious. And I always get the spring rolls. I don't like anything fried, so I want the fresh spring rolls, and I always ask them to take the pork out. So there's like bean sprouts and noodles, rice noodles, and cilantro and shrimp. And it comes in this sauce, and it comes in this with this peanut sauce, and I'm a big fan of sriracha. I understand. I could see Colorado being expensive for pork. Hold on, I'm being beckoned. Come on. Come on. Oh, be careful. Let me open this up a little bit. There you go. Oh, gross. I'm so sorry, guys. You saw the back of my chair. I'm sweating like a pig. And so the back of my chair is just soaked. I did not mean to show everybody that. Sorry. But they don't bark until... But if I'm out here and they want to be with me, then one of them barks. The rest of them don't bark. The other two don't bark at all. Corn is expensive, and we are surrounded by cornfields. But yeah, but the cornfields that we're surrounded by is I'm glad you didn't notice the chair. When I got back into it, it was just like, oh, that's kind of gross. That's my backyard. Those are my flowers right there. This was it holds 7 things. My friend, it was his wife. He was a retired Vietnam vet. And it was his wife's. And he asked me if I would take it. So I do. And so every year I go get impatiens because it just sits in the shade. The cornfields, though, Sherilyn, that we're surrounded by are exactly the same as soybeans. They don't make it for human consumption. They make it for cattle. So, yeah, we're surrounded by cornfields. I did plant my flowers. They're just... You can go out and buy a thing of impatiens. And you can usually, out here, I don't know what they're like everywhere else, but I can go get a thing of 6 impatiens, and it costs like $3.50. And so I just go out and get, I don't do much, and then those are my tomato plants and my pepper plants. And so Oh, I have a definite green thumb. I can make anything grow. A lot of people give me their dead plants. I like to take dead plants because I can usually bring them back to life. When I do my stuff upstairs, there's some plants on the window. Those were dead. They were almost completely dead when I got them. They were at Hy-Vee and they were going to throw them out. My friend who's a manager there was just like, we're going to throw these out. Would you be interested in taking these home? I said, yeah, I'll take them home and see what I can do. And oh my God, they're huge now. They're huge. I don't think Nebraska has a lot of popcorn corn, but the Amana Colonies in Iowa does. So the Amana Colonies, that's in they're Amish. They're in Iowa. That's around here. That's where what you buy is their popcorn, the Amish popcorns. I can make a lot of things grow. Thank you. I love, the biggest thing with plants is what most people do wrong with plants is they overwater them. And it's best to underwater a plant than overwater a plant. They'll deal well better with underwater. And then when they start to droop, you can tell that they're drooping, and that's when you water them. But, I like plants. I like animals. I used to raise birds. When my sister and I did talk years ago, she had birds. They would have babies, and there's so many times that I went over there, and they would hatch, and that day I would go get them, even though they were brand new hatch, because the birds weren't feeding them. They would have died. And so I went out and got a little dropper thing, and you go get this baby bird food that smells like peanut butter, and you mix it up, and then you have to feed them. It sucks because you have to feed them every 2 hours. For like the first 2 to 3 weeks, you have to feed them so there's very little sleep. But, and I was in college at the time, so people in college called me the bird man. Because there was one time I had 2 cockatiels and a lovebird that I had to take them to class with me because I couldn't just leave them at home because they would starve. So I had a little bag, I would put them in, and I fed 2 cockatiels and 2 lovebirds from hand. They're gone now, but Wheel was my favorite. She was my lovebird. Just a rowdy little thing. Ooh, but I am going to have to get off here now because I only have 10% battery left. So I'll stay on here for another few minutes, but I only have 10% battery. I'm still coming on tomorrow. Blog is davidshurter.com. There's some really incredible stuff on there that I've done. Keep checking that blog. If things stop on that blog, reach out to dshurtermod@gmail.com. Because if something happens to me, Sherilyn's going to know. Sherilyn will know. I'm going to be on tomorrow at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Central Standard Time. So I'll be back on here, Central Standard Time, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This was just an impromptu one. The fact that that blog got taken care of is just a weight off my shoulders. If you guys want to donate, PayPal and Venmo are just D and Shurter. It's my last name. For any of you who are interested in a book, this is my book about Franklin. I got nominated for Book of the Year. I sell these for $30. Again, PayPal and Venmo is just D Shurter. So that's D and then my last name. So it's just my first initial, my last name. And it's $30 if you live in the States. If you don't live in the States, let me know where you're at. If you want a book, I need to know where I'm sending it, and I need to know who I'm inscribing it to, because I always sign them when I send them. When I send them out, obviously that doesn't happen with Amazon. I'm a little bit more pricey than Amazon, but I can't offer free shipping. And the damn things cost me $15 because I only buy 10 at a time, because it's cheaper if you buy a bunch, but who has the money to buy a bunch of books? So I usually buy 10 at a time so I can, and If you have questions, comments, anything that you feel needs of a concern, um, dshurtermod@gmail.com. Sherilyn, would you do me a favor and just post all of this in the comments? Because I obviously can't get to the comments and type in. I actually self-published. This damn thing cost me $14,000 to publish. To have it edited and to publish it cost me $14,000. Took me a long time to pay for it. And it was, but I did it because I felt that the information was important to get it out there. And I didn't start asking for donations or anything until about 2 years ago. And that's only because I couldn't, I couldn't, it was never about, I don't charge for the blog. I'm not going to monetize any of my videos. I'm not getting money off of this. I think it's blood money. I'll take donations because I think that in here especially, it's not, yes, we deal with pedophiles and trying to bust that pedophile ring, but a lot of it is actually doing God's work. That's what I think. We're all in here talking about the word, trying to encourage each other, trying to do stuff. I will tell you though, and I'm warning everybody, the first amount of donations now that I get, I'm using to take Sherilyn out to eat. Sherilyn needs a little something. I'm also making her a bag. I'm also making her a bag. But that's because she puts up with a lot. You guys have no idea. You have no idea, because I can be a very whiny, difficult, irritating bitch sometimes. When I get into a mood, I'm just difficult to deal with, and Sherilyn does wonderful. And she deals with all of the dickheads in here. I don't have to deal with it anymore. And we don't want anyone uncomfortable in here. We want you all to be able to come in and say what you need to say. And just like we did today. Oh, my bags are downstairs. Okay, give me 2 seconds. I'll run down so I can show you guys a bag. I have 8% to my phone, so it'll have to be quick. Don't look at my chair. And I know now everyone's going to be looking at my chair. I shouldn't have said that. So this is one that I made for Lavidia, who I have not heard from. I called her. Cognitive actually reminded me that she had sent me her phone number, so I finally called her because I forgot I had her phone number. Okay, cool. I'm not going to show you my sweat spot. This is the one I made for Lavidia. I'm hoping that she's okay. Her daughter was not doing well, and I have now been able to get a hold of her. And so this is the inside. It has two... I use jeans, and so in here it has 2 pockets, and each one will have something to hold your keys to. This one has this, so you could attach your keys to it and have that. This is Lavidia's. Now this one I'm gonna do. This one is I'm actually gonna sell. I still haven't put the straps to them yet, but this is another one, and this is the inside. This one's actually for sale, and it has just 1 pocket, and then so this is, this is the back and the sides, and I'll be putting straps on them. And so and then if you guys are interested in a bag and you want a bigger bag, let me know. I know that Cognitive has actually talked about it. I've talked a bit about Cognitive because Cognitive does amazing artwork. She's making some incredible shoes that she does crochet and stuff. And so Cognitive does some amazing work as well. She has just a lot of cool stuff to sell as well. I think that all of us, I want to get to a point where I can't diversify too much, but there are times when some of us need to support each other. You know, Smokey does excellent artwork. He just sent me a thing that he's working on. Barefoot sandals, thank you. She makes barefoot sandals. And, you know, Cognitive, what you should do, I'll just talk to you later, because I just had a wonderful idea, you know, and I'm going to see if I can't get you to help me with a pilot thing, because I'm thinking maybe they have 1 million YouTube accounts. So what if I set up a different YouTube account and then helped people promote their stuff? You know, I don't want to do it on my website because my website is way too intense. I can't sell stuff on my website for people. But I would love to be able to help other people out. You know, that's what I'm saying, is that I'm just telling you, when you donate to me, all the donations do not just go to me, because I end up trying to help people out a little bit. None of us are rich, so it's not like I'm getting rich off donations, and there's not very many of us, and so they come in infrequently, but when they do, I like to help out when I can. I just spoke about you, Smokey. Your ears were burning. I just think that helping each other, isn't that what it's all about? Isn't that what we're all here for? You know, is to help out each other, support each other, get each other through all of this stuff with our faith intact, you know? And it's rough. I know the anger. I know the anger that this group actually, I know the anger. But, you know, Cognitive says she raises money to help others and for gifts, and that's what Cognitive does too. Cognitive is the one who basically has kept me on the straight and narrow, because what she does is she does stuff and then wants to help other people, and that's what I want to do. That's kind of what I do here. You know, I'm trying to help survivors and victims of this. And no, I'm not Rambo. I have not gone into anything and saved any kids, but I wouldn't know how to start, you know, so I can only do what I can do. And bringing awareness is key. It's just key. And so for me, we should all be helping each other and not hurting each other, you know. And I will tell you, just to let you guys know, I'm just going to throw it out there. Sherilyn and I have been talking about it. I've also talked about it with Cognitive. We would all love to rent someplace for a weekend, like a cabin or something, and see if we can't get people to come and we can all break bread with each other. Wouldn't that be amazing? That we could all get together and hang out with each other for a while and actually, you know, and educate many as well. I try to educate, you know. I'm glad you guys do show up. I'm glad you show up. I'm glad that you guys are now starting to become comfortable where a lot of you are starting to talk, you know, because a lot of times, a lot of you would just sit in the background, and now it's getting to the point where people are starting to feel comfortable enough to where they're starting to talk. And that is because of Sherilyn, because I needed a moderator, because I couldn't do what I was doing and moderate at the same time. And Sherilyn does her absolute best to keep this a safe place. And that's not a, you know, that's not a, I hate this term, but it's not a woke thing, you know? It's just, who wants to go deal with all the drama that this group has? Look at what we were dealing with at the very beginning, but they get bored. Once we start to get comfortable with each other, then they want to go away because they can't cause anything. I try to be as open as I can. I try to be as transparent, you know? I'm not perfect by any means, but none of us are. But, you know, I don't have any anxiety meds. I mean, I all of mine are PRNs, and I haven't had any for a while. And so I haven't had any. That's why I say Sherilyn deserves Sherilyn deserves to be taken out to eat. She is my anxiety med sometimes, you know. And really, when it comes down to it at this point, even my therapist says pot helps me. Weed, marijuana helps me a lot. Marijuana is like a godsend to me. I just haven't had any money for any, you know. Oh, no, that's all right, Mary. And some people who take meds, you know, I took meds for a long time. It's just that my problem is that all those meds made me fat. I would take these antidepressants because they were supposed to help with my depression, but they were making me obese. I mean, they were making me fat, which made me depressed. So then I'd have to take more antidepressants, and then I would get fatter. Pot doesn't have the same effect on me. I rarely ever get the munchies. In fact, when I get high, I'm not hungry. You know, smoking pot and drinking coffee have the same thing. I don't get hungry, you know. And generally, pot does not put me to sleep. I don't want to sit back and watch a movie and veg out. I smoke pot and I end up cleaning my house, going and doing yard work, laundry, you know. I'm looking forward to actually smoking with you, Smokey, sometime. I think it would be fun. I have my medical marijuana card. I just don't have any money. I can't buy pot. You know, I suppose I could have, but then I wouldn't have had my blog. And if I didn't have my blog, they would have come and killed me. So at least I would have been high when they killed me, I guess. You know? Yeah, those meds just, you know. I read all the time, and smoking does not affect me when I read. It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect me when I write either. Sewing, that's another thing. I don't get high. I just am afraid of sewing my finger with that needle. But I do have to get off here because I'm at 4%. I'm going to end it with a quick prayer if that's okay. And then we're going to sign off because I'm almost out of battery. Heaven, thank you so much. This was just a joy today. I appreciate everyone who's come in here. Shower us with grace. Let us know that we all care about each other and that we're all in this together and that not one of us is alone. However it may feel like that sometimes. And we're just grateful. We're grateful for the word. We're grateful that you sent your son, our brother Jesus Christ, to teach us about the word. And trying to do our best to emulate the word is just kick ass as far as I'm concerned. I don't mean to swear, but there's just nothing like it. And thank you for everything. Thank you for everyone. And I just want to say thank you for all those who helped to get me out of that situation with that blog because I was so worried. And yet 2 days ago you came and descended your grace upon me and told me everything would be okay. And even though I didn't believe it right away, you were right. It turned out okay. And I can't be more grateful. And we say these things with as much love and gratitude that we can muster from the very depth of our soul, and the bottoms and the tops and the middles and the sides of our hearts. And we say these things in your Son, our brother's name, Jesus Christ. Amen. I can control myself when it comes to weed, but I was a big pot smoker for a long time. But if you have abuse issues and you start in therapy, maybe pot's not the thing you want to start with. And don't mix pot with pills. Do not take their anti-anxiety, their meds that they give you. Do not mix that with pot. It is terrible. Do therapy without pills. That's how I feel. I'm at 3%. I figured do therapy without pills. Do therapy, smoke pot, and then if they want to put you on pills, don't do both. Don't smoke pot and take pills, because the pot ends up invalidating the pills, and all of the symptoms you're trying to take care of comes back way worse. So just be careful of that. From what I understand, Nathan does that, and I think that's a lot of what Nathan's problems are, is that they have him on medication. And I'm not spilling beans or anything. It's all stuff he talks about, but then he also smokes pot. And that is a bad combination. One or the other. One or the other. And if you can't smoke pot during the asthma, you know. Oh, he quit pot. He's good now. Thank you, Cognitive. Thank you. I knew that he would figure things out. I knew he would come back. Nathan Stoltman is a really decent dude who's very bright, and he's nowhere near as broken as he thinks he is, and people love him, and I hope he knows that. You know, he's a good guy who's tried to do good work. Check out my blog, davidshurter.com. Sherilyn has left all of the stuff in the comments, and I got to get off here. I'm at 2%. Sherilyn, though, I'm still going to plug in my phone, and I'm going to call you real quick. So if that's okay. We won't talk long, because I know that we've been on here for almost 2 hours. But with that said, tomorrow at 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. This has been wonderful. This has been so worth it. This has been so great. Sherilyn, A+. You know, your idea, A+. Thank you, everyone. You know, thank you. And I'll see you tomorrow.